8. Modern romance. Topic of interest to all of us, and a book by Aziz Ansari with the help of a sociologist called Eric Kleinenberg. And I listened to this audiobook. It's nonfiction, and it's by a stand-up comic, so that seemed fitting. And it's good. And I'm single, as Aziz Ansari was at the time anyway. And I'm interested in these topics, and it's rewarding to listen to somebody thoughtfully talk it out, to intellectualize it a bit, to study it. It's a topic, obviously, that we discuss with our friends all the time, but it's always mired in a sort of, I guess I want to say, set of assumptions that we rarely question. And I want to question these things, and I'm glad that somebody else is too. So, for instance, Aziz starts by looking at the old times of our parents and our parents' parents, and just the way that marriage functioned in the day of meeting somebody, on your same block, definitely in your same town, maybe on your street even, or building, as is often the case in his interviews, and how you just kind of accept who you end up with, and you just take what you get, and you do it early, late teens, early 20s, and you just kind of knuckle down and fulfill the role that traditionalism lays out for you. And this isn't very satisfying for lots of people. They're missing out on a lot of living that we get nowadays. They're missing out primarily on what we call emerging adulthood, this extended period of time from our late teens into our 30s that we get to search for ourselves and be independent and discover what we really want in life and what we yearn for, what we dream of. This is so important, and it's why it's a good thing that marriages are happening later, and when they're happening less often, and they're ending up in divorce more, because we don't need marriage. We do need companionship and love and sex. So I guess the question nowadays is, how do we get that? If we're not marrying somebody straight out of school, how are we doing it? Well, we're largely doing it on our phones, through dating sites, Match First, OkCupid, most popularly Tinder, the most popular app. Tinder was developed as a response to the gay hookup app, Grindr, in which men can simply shop around for sex with willing, consenting partners that want the same. And it's like, man, I get really envious when I watch my gay friends use this thing. 'Cause it's like, and they have so many. There's like Scruff and the other ones, whatever they are. I mean, there's an abundance of options for gay men to satisfy their sexual desires. And it just goes to show what male sexuality really is when unencumbered, and what it looks like when it's encumbered by female sexuality. I'm sorry, ladies, but it's frustrating for me because it's like, here we are now on Tinder. I just recently signed up again for it after reading this book. And I'm seeing messages like, no one-night stands, not looking for a hookup, keep swiping. Like, you're on fucking Tinder. Like, if we men can't fulfill our desires in this simple way on Tinder, how can we do it? Honestly, that's a real question. How should we do it? Prostitution, the oldest profession in the world, is an obvious answer to this, but of course that's shamed by women more than anything. Kind of sucks, I'm not quite sure what women are after, I guess, because I know that women like sex too, but only in very prescribed ways, and only in certain windows of opportunity. And it sucks because here we are all looking for happiness in the form of love, sex, companionship. And here we are struggling together in a culture with so many mixed signals and contrary values. It's hard. Coming from America, I am used to the courtship ritual of asking a girl out and going on a date and sleeping with her maybe on the second date, this kind of thing. And now that I live in Europe, I'm like kind of like feeling out the differences. And the differences aren't as extreme as other places. America and Europe are pretty similar, you could say. Aziz contrasts it to South America and Japan, Asia. Uh, in Japan, for instance, sex is such a shameful thing across the board for all genders that crazy things spawn out of that. You know, they're porn for one, you know, like tentacle porn and, you know, like businessmen, you know, fondling schoolgirls and all the weird anime, whatever. They have love hotels, state sanctioned. They have crazy new ways of masturbating. Prostitution is still illegal, but there's like other forms of buying companionship. There's like bars where even women will go and pay for companionship for the night, for like compliments and for attention. And it's like women are paying for this in Japan because it's not available to them from their men, because men, you know, fear rejection so much, fear their own sexuality so much that this is what they're turning to. And the obvious conclusion of this, sex robots, which are a thing. And I wonder if they'll just become more of a thing. And if American culture is going that way. And I feel like it is, because if you contrast it to Buenos Aires in South America, it's like there you have a very, you know, red-blooded dating culture where men pursue women very aggressively. They don't take no for an answer. Not in like a rapey way, but in like a, what do you mean? You're interested, aren't you? Come on, it'll be fun. Like, just like on the street, they are unabashed in their pursuit. And it kind of makes sense if you look at the history of Catholicism and how much shame was put onto women for wanting sex at all. Like, of course, women are going to say no forever. And men, to combat that, will persist. Kind of makes sense. Same in Italy. And in France, it's like a very enlightened culture, if you will, where affairs are kind of accepted, where a politician having an affair is not scandalous at all. In fact, a second family is even open at times and possible. And just how French culture kind of accepts human sexuality for what it is. It doesn't fight it at all. You know, it goes with it. And there's not as much American style dating there. It's more like fancy a fuck. Why not? You know, like very direct. And I'm trying to learn that. I mean, I like a French girl, and I'm wondering if I need to do that, because she doesn't reply to my subsequent texts after we like initiate, when I'm just talking about maybe getting coffee tomorrow or something. So, but it's hard. I guess I feel very browbeaten by American culture that is so full of slut shaming, so full of like an obsession of consent, which of course I'm for, being American, but it's like, to what end are we doing this? Like, I'm always waiting now for explicit consent in every move I make, you know, like I don't want to ask a girl for her number without feeling like I'm invited to do so. If I'm on the dance floor, I don't want to dance next to a girl until she gives me eyes. And German girls won't always give you eyes. They're not going to just invite you. They're going to wait for you to do something. And then once you do something, then they'll allow it or stop it. And I guess I just wonder about my own natural aggressiveness as a pursuant heterosexual man interested in certain women, and how to further that interest, and how many roadblocks are along the way. I mean, there are natural roadblocks. Most people we meet, we're not going to have mutual attraction. We're not going to be available at the same time. We're not going to be emotionally ready somehow. You know, like these are enough. Not to mention like all the other little things, like, oh, well, I don't want to bother her. I don't want to seem weird or awkward on the street. I definitely don't want to be rude. All these like perceived things that we invent to stop ourselves from pursuing happiness in the form of love and sex. It sucks, you know? Really sucks. So it's hard. And of course, we're swimming in options. There's just so much fucking choice out there. And if you're on Tinder, of course, you're just swiping and swiping and swiping. You see hundreds of faces and you match with maybe 5 or 10 of them at a given time. And then you have this kind of Rolodex of people you're interested in. And out of those people, one of them will lead to like a nice date, of drinks or whatever. And it's just, this maze that we're going through, that we're putting ourselves through, like a gauntlet. And of course you have to play a numbers game. You're going to have 5 or 6 interests at one time. And then people are offended by that. Like, well, obviously you can't settle down or be happy because you're not focusing on anything. You're just too spread out. It's like, what do you expect in this world? Like, this is our world. It's like that, like we have such abundance with everything. We have affluence. We can live alone. We can live alone longer. We can do our own thing. We have independence and freedom. Like, what can we do with that? We can be happy if we let go of some of the traditional stuff. Monogamy being one of them. Dan Savage is interviewed in this book. He's the brilliant podcaster, columnist. He coined the term monogamish, referring to his own relationship with his husband, where, straying a bit outside of your committed love is acceptable. It's tolerable. It's not the end of the world. Faith is not the biggest thing in a relationship. Cheating is not the worst thing to happen. I hate the word cheating. It's like, we're playing a game. We're playing a game of let's deny our own desire with each other as much as we can. Like, why? Why are we doing that? It's stupid. But then I think, Keith, you got to be a little more flexible to that. I mean, I've certainly been in love and been monogamous, but never for more than like 2 years. And that makes me think I need to stick it out longer at that 2-year mark and buy into like these conservative ideas that we still celebrate somehow, And I want kids one day, so it's like, okay, so sure, that's how you have to do it. You have to at least pretend that you're committed forever, even though over half relationships end in divorce. 99% of your relationships end until one doesn't. There is no perfect person out there. There's no Mr. and Mrs. Right. There's just, some sort of algorithm of what matches for you, and it's about finding that match. And I don't know, it's like I'm on that path, that struggle to find that match. And I'm always, whenever I meet somebody, I'm wondering, what is this? This immediate connection, this exchanged smile and eye contact, this like first impression, is this going to be the love of my life? Probably not. But could it be love in general? Could it be sex? Could it be a one-night stand? Is it a friendship? Is it some mix of that? Can we explore the flirtation and have sex and feel it out and get it out of the way and see what's left? This is what interests me. I'm interested in this every time I go out in public and meet anybody. It's like, this is exciting to try and like bounce our personalities off of each other and see what sticks. But we're hung up. We have hang-ups together collectively on so many topics of like preference and perfection and desirability and am I good enough? Is she good enough for me? Do we have enough in common? Are we going to like the same things? Is this a deal breaker? Is that weird that he does this or that? Like, we ask ourselves these things and it's like, I don't know, we're just so tied up with it. It's like, we're only hurting ourselves, like we're trying to be happy here and we just won't let ourselves be happy. We're like consumerists obsessed with the perfect Yelp review of a person or something. And it's sad. It's sad that we have to go through such pains and that we have all these apps trying to help us. None of them are really breaking down the stigmas from the past that are still kind of plaguing mainly women, sorry to say. And us men too are not fully maybe fair in terms of giving a fair shake to what a relationship could be. If we're only looking for sex, this isn't really, that could maybe not be fair to what could be after that. I don't know. It's nice to listen to Aziz talk about this subject and to explore all the angles of it. we have lost something from the past. This kind of simplicity of just, this is who you're with, this is why it works, be happy with that, look for other happiness elsewhere beyond that. Now we have choice, options. Swim in that, get all fucked up on what you're actually looking for and what you want. And I don't know, we're perpetually unsatisfied as a result. And all I'm looking for is that moment of solace where we can relax and be happy, at least for the night, and the next day, and maybe the next month, and to make plans with people and to do fun things. I mean, that's what we're all looking for, isn't it? So I'll leave it there. Good luck. Let's get a beer and talk about it.